Welcome back to Tu-Vie, your TV movie entertainment needs channel. Today, we're going to be going over Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in theaters May 5th. I am super excited to talk about this movie, so let's get into it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the third installment in this franchise. I'm personally super excited to see this movie. I've been a fan of the Guardians for a really long time in comics, and then finding out that there were going to be a movie and seeing that movie just blew my mind away. And now seeing this kind of come to a close almost 10 years later is very, heartbreaking to see. So the first things I'm going to be going over is going to be going over the three clips that we have given. So it's going to be very heavily spoil filled. If you want to skip all that, go to this timestamp right here. It's going to skip all that and go into my basic predictions and plus the things I like about this movie. So the first clips that we've given it's been a lot. There's been, I think, three so far, and they've been over Rocket's friends with, him on Counter Earth, the very first F-bomb in the MCU, and now the newest one being with Adam Warlock. I think focusing on Rocket in this third installment is great. We've seen a lot of the changes happen through him based on his history, very, brief hints in the first two movies. And now this one really diving deep into his backstory is going to be a gut-wrenching ending to this story. In that clip, we see Rocket's friends, Teef, Floor, and of course his love, Lila, played by Linda Cardellini, as well as Teef and Flora are played by SMC and Michaela Hoover. They're talking about this new planet the High Evolutionary is most likely taking him to, probably another Counter-Earth kind of thing that we see with the Newman that we've seen from the teaser trailers. And I'm very curious to see where this goes because overall, this is the group that Rocket had attachments with and ultimately got separated with. So it's going to be really, really nice and heartwarming to see this group kind of hopefully come back together in its complete form with Rocket growing up and going back to take down his past. Second one we got is with the Guardians protecting Rocket, which I'm assuming is a final version of Counter Earth where the Newmen live and wanting to protect Rocket, where we get the very first verbal F bomb. I think it's interesting that Star-Lord is given the first F bomb. I mean, it fits the character in a way, but I think it's also fun if you don't count it as the first one because Groot back in Volume 2 didn't say frickin', which we all know what that means, to Yondu when he was walking in the Guardian. So I don't count that as a verbal F-bomb because it was in Groot. So this is the actual first outspoken one, but technically it goes back to 2000, I think like 17. And the third one is a final look at Adam Warlock. We've been teasing this guy since the very first movie in the Cocoon and the second one with yet another Cocoon by Aisha. So now seeing him in his pride and glory is great. Played by Will Porter. He is just beautiful in that golden glow. Apparently he's going after Rocket in some fashion. It looks like he was kind of like holding him, about to take him away from something. And maybe Aisha is seeking revenge. And so because since he took the batteries in the second one, spoilers, they consider him still a threat and they want him, Adam, to take him down and pay for his crimes. But either way, what this movie is going to be doing is going to be breaking my heart all the way through. But that's just what all I've gotten from the trailers and the clips. And frankly, I have no clue what's going to be really happening until I see it on May 5th. And I'm both not looking forward to it and really looking forward to it because I've been wanting to see the final chat for this movie ever since it was announced, but I am not ready to bawl my eyes out. Now that we're past all the actual spoiler stuff, I'm going to go on to my basic predictions about this movie. So we all know by the main teasers and trailers, we know that a Guardian or Guardians will be sadly leaving the group. Now, for us that weren't at the premiere, we don't know exactly who or whom those Guardians may be. We don't know if it's a single one. I don't know, but this is my prediction on who I think may bite the dust. I really only have two solid guesses. I got a third one lingering in my head for some reason, but I don't know exactly who. But I know the main two are going to be Drax and Rocket. Now, I know we're all kind of, thinking Rocket's going to die based on kind of what the promotionals have been showing us with younger Rocket, the progression of Rocket, and a lot of focuses around Rocket. But something tells me it may also be a red herring. So, like, I don't know. I'm wavering back and forth with it, but I'm still fairly confident something may happen to Rocket. Like I mentioned before, Rocket has been given more of his backstory in each of these movies. And now with this final chapter, we're exploring where his origins came from with the High Evolutionary. It may be full circle with this character as we see him that's ashamed of his past and hates what he became to now becoming a hero to avenging his past. So that may lead it to his death. But I don't know for certain, but again, this is all predictions here, but I hope it's not Rocket because I think that's the one that's going to kill me the most. And the other one, like I said, is Drax. So I don't know if this is just me. I know we've spoken about this on the podcast, me and Colin. About 2-3 years ago, I saw a screenshot from James Gunn's phone. And in that screenshot had three keynotes. One that was Drax reuniting with his family because his daughter and his wife are still alive. Rocket and his love Lila get reunited, and we see that from the trailer, so we know that one's good to go. And then a new mysterious hero is emerging from the cosmos. So that new hero now being Adam Warlock. And I think that there was a fourth thing about Star-Lord's guns or something changing with them. Maybe it could be the elemental guns going into play, or something we've seen from the toys where it can change into like a pistol or something. That one I'm not really sure about, but those three I'm very confident about. Now, this photo no longer exists on the internet. It's gone. It is done. So it's snapped out of existence. No clue where it went, but all I know is that I saw it and I don't know where it is now. But going back and forth to the trailer, we've seen clips where Drax has a giant hole that's kind of burnt, maybe getting shot at, either shot to the back or the chest or something. But he's definitely in major critical damage. Now, this could be, a very obvious sign of him becoming injured throughout the rest of the movie, gets more and more injured, and then collapses and sacrifices himself in a way. And when he does reunite with his daughter and wife, it's not in a living fashion. You know what I'm saying? Ever since the first movie, Drax has been wanting to seek revenge for the death of his wife and daughter by Ronan and then Thanos, and now kind of getting those revenges off his to-do list. He's kind of left with protecting this family he was given almost like a second chance, and maybe in that sense sacrifices himself to keep that family safe, ultimately reuniting with his very first family, the one he loves the most. I hope this isn't true. I hope everyone stays alive and well, and the Guardians Secret League actually get back together in the end, and it's all a fake. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't think it's going to be the case because Marvel likes to break our hearts. But at the same time, whatever the story is going to be, I know it's going to be perfect. Now, I know that whoever may actually die, whether it be Rocket, Drax, Star-Lord, Groot, Gamora, Nebula, Cosmo even, hope better not be Cosmo, but whoever may be, I know it will be met with extreme amounts of tears. Now, for something a little more upbeat, I am loving Awesome Mix Volume 3. Now, my top 3 songs so far have been San Francisco by the Moldleys, Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow, and In the Meantime by Space Hog. All of them are great, and really, they're just perfect for this movie. My personal favorite mix, though, is Awesome Mix Volume 1, because just seeing and hearing that movie and music go together, like just this perfect combination of the two, forever was a staple for this movie, as Hooked on a Feeling is more commonly associated with the Guardians rather than Blue Sweet. But either way, just it's so iconic, and it was the very first time hearing a movie have a perfect soundtrack that reflected each other. Was just great. Overall, I'm guessing this is going to be the best Guardians movie in the trilogy, and definitely top 5 best Marvel movie, as I'm hearing the reviews become more and more positive, saying it's the best movie since Endgame, which there's been a lot of good movies between now and Endgame. We got Black Panther, Shang-Chi, No Way Home. I was excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. We know how that turned out, but personally, it's a fun watch for me. Even if this is the Guardians' last ride and last time together, I have no doubt that it will be incredibly heartwarming, incredibly funny, and incredibly depressing. I am planning to cry my eyes out. My shirt's going to turn a different shade when I walk out of that movie. All I know is that the wait will finally be over come May 5th, and the wave of emotions will be starting the exact same day too. Thank you guys again for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and follow. Also, be sure to comment below what your favorite song has been from Awesome Mixes Volume 1 and 3. I'm very curious to see what your answers are. Also, be sure to check out our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and the one above all, Spotify, or pretty much everywhere else you get podcasts. We're there for our spoiled filled review. We're going to be doing that next Wednesday, so it's not going to be this Saturday with our podcast. We're going to do that next Wednesday. I'm going to be doing the video, which you guys can watch after you go see the movie. We can talk more about it. But then come the 13th, that new episode of the podcast is where we're going to be doing our spoiled filled review on the podcast. So it's going to be 2 separate things you can watch at different times. We're going to be talking about it with Colin and a very special guest. Also, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, because when we post, we want everyone to know. We don't want you guys to miss a single thing, as we also do post our episodes here in video format. Thank you guys again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.